What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here. And y'all, today I want to talk about something that I don't see being discussed a lot about Madden 19 that can actually ruin a lot of people's experience if they happen to play the early release for Xbox One with EA Access and when you very first get the game. And I think that this is something that needs to be discussed, that going in, that way you have this level of expectation going in so that it's not a surprise to you whenever you get the game. Now, I personally didn't play it myself, but I've been running across a lot more and more people who have gone to EA Play and played it, not game changers. Like, I'm not listening to the game changers because everybody knows the game changers, they're promoted to speak positive things about the game until after the game is released. They're on embargoes and stuff like that, or whatever you want to call them. But still, so these are people who have gone to EA Play, who have YouTube channels and have played Madden at EA Play, and they all say the same thing. So the story is consistent. That's how you know the ones who've played it from the ones who haven't. And basically it deals really with RPM, and that's the main topic of this discussion, is RPM, or real player movement. RPM is something that really has been said that was going to be in the game ever since Madden 25, when EA had the Ignite engine, and they were talking about real living worlds and players basically becoming aware of each other on the field, which to me is a laughing joke because Rex said last year that they don't have the technology, that right now it's impossible to make a game where all 11 players or all 22 players are completely aware of each other on the field. And that's where you get animations from, because the players, they're doing their own thing until another player enters into their animation zone, and at that point they become aware of them. If you remember the tackling cone that came up, and you know the distance on that tackling cone, that's pretty much showing you the distance on the player animations. You can see this a lot if you run screenplays, how the offensive linemen are just running blindly in a straight line to the sideline until a player comes into contact with them, then they pick them up and stuff like that. So, and Rick said that they're not able to make it to where the players are aware of each other on the field. And until they do, y'all, we're going to continue to get animations. I mean, that's just part of it. But with that being said, they talked about in Madden 25 with the Ignite engine that the players would become aware of each other and things like that, and they would move better and stuff like that. And then, years later, they were talking about how you can't just get onto the turbo button and run, that you really gotta, basically be patient with the game and move realistic. Now, whenever they say that they're gonna add these things in the game, don't look for those things until maybe 3 to 4 years down the road. They will implement some form of it, but because Madden is a yearly release and EA doesn't devote a lot of resources as far as personnel to Madden, then you run into the issue of things being put in piece by piece, and it's rather appalling, to say the least. And I got a video coming next about that, as to why those things are the way that they are. but anyway, so when you play Madden 19, it is not going to feel like Madden 18. Get that out of your head. If you play, actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not gonna feel like any Madden you've ever played. All because they have finally got a decent foundation with the real player movement in the game, so the players move more realistically. Y'all know I play football. I talk about that all the time. Play college football, Southern Arkansas University, played my high school ball, played semi-pro ball. And I've played running back, I've played cornerback, I've played a lot of positions on the field. And when you're a running back, you don't run full speed as soon as you get the ball. And a good coach will tell you that. A good coach, if they get on to you for not hitting the hole, because I know people saying, oh man, my coach tells me to hit the hole. Yes, hit the hole once you find the hole. But on Madden, as soon as we get the ball, we're automatically holding down the turbo button so that we can find and hit a hole as fast as possible. And y'all, you're not going to be able to do that in Madden 19. Madden 19 with real player movement, let me tell you something. For those of y'all who've never played football, you may want to start watching some videos, some YouTube tutorial videos on what to do and what not to do on the football field, because Madden 19 with real player movement, y'all, you are going to have to play the game as far as gameplay just like you would in real life. If you're a running back, you aren't going to turn on the jets until you find the hole that you are going to run through. And everybody that's played football knows that you are not going to be able to make cuts on a dime running at full speed. Can you make a cut at full speed? Yes, you can. But it's not going to be as big as a cut as it would be if you were, running slower or slow down and gather your footing. This is going to be true in Madden 19. Don't expect to make those jukes that you made last year and spin moves that you made last year running at full speed, because it's not going to happen. While you may be able to do them, they're going to be small and dull and not as effective. It plays true to real football that guys are going to slow down and break down in order to make these moves. And it also goes true on defense. The straffle button has been in the game for a millennia, and it's never really been used that much as far as making plays and stuff like that, simply because of how the game, you're able to run full speed into a defender and change directions and still make the tackle. But with Madden 19, guys, you are not going to be able to do that. If you are running full speed at a ball carrier, you better make darn sure you are lined up to make the tackle, because if not, and he slows down and changes direction, you are going to miss. So that straffle button comes into play finally. And it is realistic. If I'm going to make a tackle at the collegiate level, at the professional level, semi-pro level, whatever, if you don't break down, you're going to get embarrassed, man, because somebody is going to juke right past you and keep on moving. A lot of people that played Madden at EA Play was talking about at first they did not like it. They thought the game was broken and this and that, until they found out how to play the game, that you can't play it like you played it last year, just holding on to the sprint button and stuff. And so they found out that, well, I have to get off of the sprint button to change directions and things like that, which is true because it causes the player to slow down, gather his footing, and he's better able to make cuts. So these are some things that we need to know before we go into Madden 19. And it's something, y'all, honestly, that I'm happy about. I was wondering how they would do RPM. I didn't think it was going to be much. But from the way that it sounds, I like it because it is realistic to football. Having to break down or at least slow down a little to make moves, juke moves, spin moves, and things like that. And on defense, having to break down and make plays, because a lot of people were saying the run game's not working, the run game sucks, blase, blase. And it wasn't that the run game was broken or that it sucked. It was that the people weren't playing the game correctly. They were playing it like they used to, where they just hold the turbo button the entire time. So, because if you look in the breakdown that we got last week during EA Play talking about the gameplay, how it was talking about the one cut, that using that one cut where you stick and plant and drive upfield, how it would drain your a lot of your stamina. And the same way for the straffle and sprint out of the straffle, how it would do that too. I was wondering how that would work. I was like, that sounds decent, but what is that? Where are they going with that? And that's basically where they're coming from, that the turbo button now in Madden is to be used with caution. Not necessarily with caution, but use it like you would use it in real life. I mean, if you see open grass, you are going to haul butt. If you are out of position, you're going to haul butt. But if you are in the trenches, making cuts, trying to find a hole and stuff like that, those guys are not full speed doing that. And when they're hitting the hole full speed, what did I just say? Hitting the hole, meaning they have already found what hole to run through, and so they are sprinting through that hole. In a situation like that, yes, but until you find a hole, you are not going to be at full speed. If any of y'all have played running back, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Same thing with linebackers. When a linebacker finds that hole open up, boom, he's full speed through it. But before that, he's not full speed up to the line of scrimmage. He's not. Everybody has to take time to read the play and see what's going on, see where the ball is going, etc., etc. So all in all, RPM is what we need to know going forward, y'all. So when y'all see these things, y'all see these guys playing on these leaked gameplay videos, and you're like, wow, that guy is trash on the sticks. It's not that they're trash on the sticks. Well, technically, yes, but the reason why is because they're trying to play the game like they played Madden last year, and you can't do that with this real player motion. So that lets me know that RPM is real. It is legit. Now, if EA decides to nerf that or whatever, I hope they don't change a thing on it until everybody gets to play it, because sometimes at EA Play, they get feedback from these people that play it. And if a lot of people are saying, oh, it's too hard to run the ball, blase, 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 then EA, if they're dumb, they'll go in there and, well, let's just change it. Instead of letting people know, hey, look, this is why you're messing up. This is why you're not able to run the ball. You can't play the game like you played it last year. So I just wanted to get that information out there because I know people are seeing gameplay and they're wondering why these people are sucking at it. That's why, because you're going to have to play the game like you would really perform in real life. You're going to have to break down to make tackles. You're going to have to break down to make cuts and jukes and spin moves and things like that. And it sounds promising as far as gameplay is concerned that those things are going to have to be in there because it's a simulation game. And being in simulation, we want it to play as real as possible. Now, haven't got to see what the cornerback play is like yet. Honestly, I don't even think they changed anything as far as single player camera angles on that is. And I would like to see also that they didn't mention yesterday, how will the characters progress as far as single player career modes like on defense with the cornerbacks and stuff like that. I'm gonna get on Twitter, try to see if I can get an answer from somebody. I don't think I will because these guys haven't been saying much, but I digress. That's all I got for right now. Thanks y'all for watching. Until next time, guys.